All right, what's going on, Colts Nation? We are going to react today to Pat McAfee. A little bit over 24 hours ago, Pat McAfee gave his thoughts on Kenny Moore's comments, on a lot of the comments around some of what the veterans are saying. So we are going to watch this video, give our overall thoughts on this video, and do a little bit of a reaction to what Pat McAfee has to say, because, Derek, we know Pat McAfee very much had been in the camp of Joe Flacco and, very much had been in the camp of, Pat McAfee being Pat McAfee, hyping up the Colts to probably way too ridiculous degrees. Got to love him for it, but also it's going to be interesting to see what he says here. So without further ado, Derek, let's just jump right into this with Pat McAfee.
This Colts team fucking sucks. I'm disgusted.
Flacco.
Everybody wants to put AR in. Hey, listen. AR had no chance with this building that is happening. That is what I've realized over the last 12 hours. I'm wondering why AR's tapping out of games at quarterback. Like, how's this guy not know you can't, as a quarterback, do that? Like, call timeout.
Sure.
Waste the timeout.
Yeah.
Instead of tapping your head and showcasing that whole thing. And, is he getting better? Is he getting worse? Is he in shape? All those things. He's got nobody telling him how he's supposed to operate in that building.
Exactly.
Kenny Moore, our captain, one of my favorite guys on the football team.
Yeah.
After the game comes out and he goes, our team doesn't work.
Yeah, nobody gives a shit.
Everybody's just this is Kenny Moore after the game the Indianapolis Colts lose to the Buffalo Bills.
I don't think everybody is working as hard as possible.
What?
And obviously it's showing. I'm not the type to sugarcoat it, honestly. If I don't think the urgency is there. I don't think the details are there, so I don't think the effort is there. And I don't see everything correlating from meetings to practice to the games, and it shows.
As one of the leaders.
Okay, all right.
That's not good.
It's tough.
So AR had no idea how he's supposed to be a professional because there's no damn professionals in that building. These have been the stories that have been happening over the last few years. And I'm not saying this team under Shane Steichen's been this, but if you remember when Frank Reich was the coach, there was obviously, we weren't on ESPN then, so some people didn't know we existed, even though we had, I think, some people watching.
Sure.
People were late to meetings, team meetings.
Yep.
People showing up late to team meetings. People were missing training. Obviously there was a story about gambling in the locker room that came out from the Colts. And it was like, why aren't we winning? It's like, the culture is just not very, conducive to being a professional outfit. And then this whole thing happens, and it's like, we're not even working hard. It's like, what do you mean you're not working hard in this entire thing? Joe Flacco throws a pick on the first play, not great. No. Okay, then he gets the ball back again, throws another pick. Then he go on to throw a third one. And obviously, Josh Allen is a phenomenal football player. He threw 2 picks against Gus Bradley's defense.
That's right.
Defense was flying around doing its thing. We were in that until we weren't. And Buffalo Bills showcased that they are at the top of the AFC as a whole. Congrats.
They're a good team.
They are a good team. They work hard.
Yeah.
Their quarterback never taps out.
Yeah. Nope. Down a lot of key players here, too.
There's just a lot of things that good teams do that are a little bit different than what bad teams do.
Sure.
And it seems like over the last few years, every bad team thing that you could think of, the Colts do. So I'm about done with it. Loudhouse got taken over, too.
Mafia travel.
Yeah.
So many Mafia members.
Bill's Mafia was loud. There was an MVP chant for the first time this year, and it was not for anybody on our team.
Sure. Third down for the Colts. It was bumping in there. Everyone, keep it down.
Dude, I was trying to do one of these. Yeah. Hey,
didn't work.
Keep it down, please. No, it didn't work. Guy in the suite next to me thought he had control of the entire stadium, though. I appreciated his. He had eye paint on.
Oh, so he
was ready to play, actually. He had pads
Mafia
on.
member? He almost hopped over.
He had the LaFleur one of these a couple times. He was doing his entire thing. He had all the answers, that guy. I appreciated his positivity and his energy in that particular suite next to us, but Kenny Moore's statement said enough. I don't think we're winning the Super Bowl this year.
What?
That's a bummer. I saw your tweet.
I am bummed out.
There's a chance.
You hope you go back and forth, because a couple weeks ago, I definitely was one of the loud people saying, hey, put Joe in there. We got Kenny Moore, we got Zaire, we got EJ, we got these other guys.
DeForest Buckner, right?
Exactly. So
Quentin Nelson.
It's not about building for the future and developing and all this, but put a guy in there who gives us our best chance to win now. when Joe comes out and plays like that, that's tough. And then when Kenny comes out and says what he said after the game, because there is a lot that we don't see behind the scenes. We day in and day out, meetings, practice, walkthroughs, etc. All these things that we just talked about with the Chiefs and Lions don't necessarily show up until they show up. So now when you're in a spot like this, we're still alive, still not completely dead yet, like some teams out there. But I mean, you got to go out there when you got to go out there. Are they dead? You think they're dead?
They don't work. Yeah. When I saw a quarterback tap out of a game, I thought, we're dead. That's what I thought, we were dead. Then I go, let's go Joe Flacco. Now it's like Anthony Richardson has no idea how he's supposed to act. He has no idea. They're not working. What are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing? I'm not doing it.
It might be time.
I'm not even doing it.
What are we going to week 11?
Get them all.
Yeah.
And get the fuck out.
Eject button on everything.
See ya. Pay off all their contracts, too. See ya. Congrats. You robbed us. You stole from us. This group got us the number 4 overall pick. This group has been through so many different picks. This group has had to deal now with a bunch of different quarterbacks, too. So this group probably feels a little bit like,
what the hell you want me to do?
This is our NFL experience, and it's like, somebody needs to tell them you still get to be in the NFL. You don't have to be in the NFL. So, AR, I apologize for being so loud about you tapping out, which no NFL quarterback has ever done in the history. No. Ever. It's not good to have that happen for your team. But now I'm starting to think, like, has anybody told AR how he's supposed to be?
Yeah,
someone might have even said, like, hey, if you need a blow, just hit one of these. Just hit one of these.
Joel,
you're running around a bunch, you're evading sacks, just fucking hit one of these quick. And
you ever play hoops? When you play hoops, you just, I need one. That's just do the same thing.
Wideouts do it.
So that is Pat McAfee and company reacting to what's going on in, obviously, the Colts land right now. Obviously, it's a big it's messed up. We already know that, Derek, but now we have national media, the people like Pat McAfee, Darius Butler, the people who we would say have been very ignorant in a lot of ways when it comes to the Colts in the last couple of weeks. Now they're starting to see it. We see the national media starting to see it. I mean, Derek, it's everywhere, right now when it comes to the Indianapolis Colts. So, yeah, I don't know what your thoughts are, Derek, but I just feel like overall there's, we're starting to kind of come together and understand that this organization, this team is an absolute mess right now.
Yeah, and I mean, he said a great thing, like, Kenny Moore's comments say it all, and we're at a spot where, this is the same regime that got us the 4th overall pick in 2022. This is the same regime that, fell apart in 2022 and has gone through how many different types of quarterbacks over the last several years after Andrew Luck retired abruptly. So, it just, again, the whole comment of, it's the same thing every year. I mean, it should speak wonders of just where this team is at. And regardless of if the Colts plan, if that's what you want to call it, is going to work in getting Anthony Richardson better, I mean, it's just at the point where, like, change needs to happen. And I'm part with Pat on that, where it was like, hey, it just seems like we need a new change at someone who is, going to be the GM of this team. I really I'm at that point. I'm not 100% sure I'm willing to throw the towel in right away at Shane Steichen. I think Steichen has handled this situation badly. I think that Shane Steichen has, allowed these narratives of Anthony Richardson to swirl out of control and has given no clarification in anything to try to, go away from it. Which I think, again, I'm all for being vague on the real reason why you're benching him. But at the same time, to just be so vague and incompetent to allow the media to just spew a whole bunch of nonsense about, like, the character of the kid and the work ethic of the kid, and, continue to talk about how he'll never succeed in this league, and you just don't, and you're not providing any kind of pushback to that is, it's a disservice to Anthony Richardson and this Colts organization and to the fans itself that hear you say that he's still the future, but we just don't know how or why because you won't give us anything. And, Pat hit it right on the head there, and we've seen, Carly and the kids from Irsay's family, they've been so engaged recently because it's no doubt that here in the next year, maybe 2 years from now, these girls are going to be tasked with taking care of this football team because Irsay's health is not going to get much better. Irsay's a shell of himself. He can barely get around right now. And, at some point, those girls are going to be responsible for the direction of this football team, whether they sell it or whether or not they end up, being the actual owners for a long, long time. That's up for debate. But if they're going to have the reins to this, they have to understand what they're doing. And they're learning it from all different aspects. They're on the field, they're watching how these guys interact and, all these different things. And I think that the number one thing you should try to do is you start fresh in a lot of different places. I don't know 100% if Steichen is the right move to, immediately replace, but I'm all for what, Pat was saying about, again, if it's going to be this all the time, then why not just go get a new GM and a new decision maker, right? Because, this team just fell apart with Reich at the head coach because, we never got the quarterback situation figured out. This team is falling apart right now because of the inability to get the quarterback position right. And you're seeing all these players, talking about how guys don't work hard and, all of these different things. And, and I applaud Pat and crew for, saying like they over exaggerated the tap out thing with Anthony Richardson. And I get it. It's a terrible thing that he did and he should never do it again. And he's going to have to own that. But again, it goes to show that like it was obviously not, it doesn't need to be a defining blow. It's just because, and I agree with him in part ways too. I don't know if there's a lot of professionalism going on in the building that is helping guide Anthony Richardson in the right direction. What is the right direction, Cody? We don't know. That's another thing. I don't know if I agree on how Pat's spewing it a little bit is because nobody knows. Nobody knows anything. We don't know for 100% what the problem is. I think because, again, they went live a day or two ago from when we recorded this, and we got new news from Jim Bob Cooter that kind of gave you a little bit of an understanding of what the Colts are doing. And maybe there's a feeling that, Anthony Richardson's not really developing because the game is too fast and like he's just not like mentally in a spot where we feel like he's learning because he's got a whole bunch of other things going on and his head is not in the right space to be able to develop. Maybe I don't know. It's kind of hard to understand that because like if he's just surviving out there, then that means you as a play caller and you as a GM who puts the team together, you've obviously failed the kid in being able to, help put him in positions to where he doesn't feel like every snap he takes, he's just having to survive. I don't know. There's a lot to take in with that. But one thing we all can agree on is, this is just a mess. This is just an absolute mess right now for Indianapolis. A lot of people, Cody, in retrospect, a lot of people thought that the Colts might have this kind of record right now. Honestly, a lot of people probably thought it. And, I said it wasn't out of the realm of possibility if Anthony Richardson looked bad, which he has this year so far, that they could be 4-6 through their first 10 games. I thought they'd be better, but I mean, they've been close. But we thought it would be with Anthony Richardson leading the way. And now it's just going to continue to be Joe Flacco, and I just don't get it.
Yeah. Yeah, like you said, it's just a mess right now. This organization has no clear direction. They have no leadership, apparently, of any sort at this point. So, yeah, there's just a lot to talk about here with this Colts team. But at the same time, it's like, as Kenny Moore kind of said, it's not just the this year thing. It's been over the course of a couple of years. And, we have our own thoughts on who the biggest issues are with this team. We've talked about it before. But, yeah, guys, that'll do it for our thoughts here, kind of reacting off of what Pat McAfee and his guys said on his show on Monday. So, guys, let us know your overall thoughts here on that, on the whole situation with the state of the Colts. Curious what your guys' thoughts are. But, guys, that'll do it for this one. Thank you so much for tuning in. And as always, guys, go Colts.